Today I'm replacing the oil pan gasket on a 2014 BMW X5. I'm just kind of showing you the scope of the job. I'm not really doing a step-by-step, but you can see that the subframe had to be removed. The steering rack, I had to dismount it from the subframe, sway bar, and then all the inner control arm bolts had to be taken out. It's not that bad of a job. It's something you would absolutely need a hoist for. The engine right now is being supported from the top. Try to give you a look, with that cross brace going to the both sides of the engine bay, and that you just use the tow hook. It threads into a threaded hole in the block, in the cylinder head, and that's how you support the front of the engine while you're doing this. So the subframe drops down pretty easy. There's just the 6 big mounting bolts, and then you have the bolts for the sway bar, and then the 4 bolts for the steering rack, and the chassis stiffening plate that was off the back, and the motor mount bolts. You just remove it at this side, at the subframe side, not the bigger nut on the top of the mount. And then once that's out of the way, you can unplug the axles from the oil pan. You can those just pop out. You may have to use a punch to shock that clip so the axle will pull out nicely, and then remove the differential off the side of the oil pan. Once that's out of the way, you pretty much have decent access to it. So all I have left to do now is I just have to remove that diff and remove all the screws and drop it down. It clears everything just fine. The bolts need to be replaced every time. They're aluminum, one-time use. And other than that, you just gasket and bolts. The parts are very, very cheap. That's the least of the job cost. But pretty big job. It's a lot of labor. I think it's 12 or 13 hours is flat rate is just book time for it. So it's a pretty expensive job to have done. It might not be something you'd want to tackle at home, but it's possible. So, all right, thanks.